Good morning and welcome to Center for Spiritual Living Parker's Sunday morning online service. I'm Reverend Stephanie Stewart, Senior Minister at CSL Parker, and it is my pleasure to welcome you this morning. Our theme for the month of August is a pause for guidance. We've taken a big step together, and now let's take a deep breath together. This month invites us to rest, rejuvenate, and prepare for the next leg of our journey. If you're joining us for the first time, a very special welcome to you. CSL Parker is a member of Centers for Spiritual Living, an affiliation of like-minded centers around the world that teach the science of mind and spirit. Synthesized by Dr. Ernest Holmes, the science of mind combines the best of science, philosophy, and religion to help us live our best lives. We are radically inclusive, non-dogmatic, and most of all, happy you've joined us today. So sit back, relax, and let's find out what's happening at Center for Spiritual Living Parker.
Good morning, CSL Parker. Thank you for joining us online this morning. We just have a quick couple of announcements for you. On Saturday, August 28th, from 1 to 4 p.m. is our pool party. We hope you can make it. Please RSVP to Heather no later than August 25th. Also, coming up September 11th and 12th at the Deep Space Event Center in Parker is the Holistic Expo. All kinds of amazing things are waiting there for you for a cover fee of only $5, which covers both Saturday and Sunday. For more information, please reach out to Kim Morse or Jerry Boyson. Thanks so much and have a great rest of your day.
Good morning, CSL Parker. This beautiful Sunday in August 2021, we take a few moments to turn inward and direct our consciousness into the stream of life. Let us take a few deep breaths. The first one, exhale, let go of physical tensions. Inhale, exhale, and let go of the emotional tensions that cause us anxiety. Inhale, exhale, let go of the mental, conscious stream of self-talk and relax those thoughts in this present moment. And inhale and exhale as we concentrate at the top of our head. This is the doorway between the two worlds, the threshold to the infinite, where the life force enters into the physical form and gives us animation. We project into this conscious stream, seeking our true self to be realized. There is an infinite ocean of power that is in, around, and through us. It is our divine right, for it is our kingdom, and ours to rule with consciousness. As we focus inward, many things happen. As we begin to quieten our mind, relax our body. As the thoughts slow down, we notice that there is a gap between our breath, between the inhale and the exhale. And this gap is the gap of the presence. A presence so powerful and yet so subtle. The gentle comfort is knowing that our divine creative essence is us and will never leave us. Backed by the powerful 1,000 laws of consciousness, it is ours to discover how to utilize creative consciousness to create the life that we so choose and so deserve. This is an eternal truth. We seek the wisdom that is inside of ourself that cannot be denied if we so seek it. My divine beloved, I know I am with you always as you are with me always. This epiphany and awakening at this moment is the aha of understanding. It is our responsibility to rule majestically as a noble being who we are and how we live. Not determined by books, dogmas, or institutions. I'm responsible to only one thing, and that is the God within myself. I and my Creator are one. I and my wisdom are one. I am always, eternally, a living, spiritual being. Center in this quietness for just a few moments. Let this awaken inside of your very nature. And as we come back into the complete physical awareness in this present moment, I know that throughout eternities of time, I am thine, I am thine, I am thine. And it is so, and so be it.
Please welcome Karen Drucker.
Woke up this morning, something was not right. My poor head was a-throbbing 'cause I tossed and turned all night. Well, this unfamiliar feeling, it kinda shook me up inside, 'cause the truth it was revealing that a part of me had died. So I called my higher self, and she gave me the bad news. She said, your life is just so good, you lost the right to sing the blues. That broken down old Chevy that was eating me alive, well, I visualized a Lexus and now it's sitting in my drive. And that man of mine, that scoundrel, that rotten low-down bum, I transformed him into a love god with a sizable trust fund. And everywhere I looked, I was confronted with the clues that my life was just so good, I lost the right to sing the blues. Now, you can sing the blues if you can't pay your rent, and you can sing the blues if your money has all been spent. But how can I sing the blues? I ain't got no excuse when I'm driving in my Porsche on the way to my masseuse. So you won't find me wailing late at night in some smoky bar. You won't see me crying tears into my old guitar. Honey, I am too busy cleaning my chakras and chasing bad karma away and fluffing up my aura. Well, it takes Richard at least all day. Now that I am enlightened, I've got to spread the news. When life gets this darn good, you lost the right to sing the blues. I'm gonna blow. Wait, it's not right. blues when your best friend puts you down. And you can sing the blues when your man has done left town. But what gives me the right to sing that mournful tune when I'm steaming with my honey in my sauna in Cancun? So now you've heard my story and you understand the pain of searching and not finding any reason to complain. Cause my stars are in alignment and my house is all feng shuied, and I'm filled with peace and harmony, and my bills have all been paid. I've let go of my struggle, and you know I've paid my dues. When life gets this darn good, you lost the right to sing. What are you saying? Are you gonna just not whine anymore? Can we all just like agree on that? No, we're not gonna do that. We've lost the right to sing the blues, cause it feels so good to whine. Oh yes it does, I've lost that right to sing the blues. Jamie Martin, Druckets, thank you so much. Thank you, thank you.
Hi there, everybody. Welcome to today's talk. It's called Sparking Imagination. So it was the end of February 2019, and my mom had just become sick, and Kim and I had just brought her to live with us. We hadn't even been able to get her any doctors set up in Ohio yet. So Mom and I were in Southern Kentucky one last time to see her doctor. And in that particular trip, her oxygen levels were so bad that her doctor looked at us and said, I want you to take her to the hospital right now, but I don't want you to go to the local hospital. I want you to drive to Lexington, and I want you to go to the University of Kentucky Hospital immediately. So we got in the car and I said, Mom, what do you want to do? Do you want to go to UK? Do you want to go home to Ohio? Or do you want to go to Louisville, where Seth is? Seth is my brother, and he at the time was a cardiac care nurse at a hospital in Louisville. And she said, I want to go home. So off we went to on the 3-hour trip home to Ohio. Now I was worried, but we had plenty of oxygen with us, and I had been an EMT in my 20s. And the trip was along a major highway the entire way, so I knew that I could find a hospital along the way easily enough if it became necessary. These are the things I told myself. And then things changed. As we entered the southernmost part of the city of Lexington, I saw out of the corner of my eye, my mom began to start to rub her chest, and I asked her if she was okay. And I turned to look at her, and when I did, I saw that the end of her nose and the tips of her ears were blue. They weren't an off color, they weren't gray, they were quite blue. And she said, Steffi, I don't think I'm going to make it home. I had never been to the University of Kentucky Medical Center before. It was 5 o'clock in the evening on a weekday. And my mother had always been very, very clear with my brother and I. She did not want CPR performed on her, ever. I tell you this story so that you can begin to get the idea that there is a huge difference between having your imagination sparked and having it triggered. In that moment, all of my EMS training and my ability to be calm and focused in an emergency flew out the window, and my imagination was absolutely triggered. Every scenario that rocketed through my head ended with either my mother alive, but with broken ribs and angry with me. And you must understand, my brother and I we have a great deal of respect for my mother's wishes. So either I was in a lot of trouble, or she was dead in the seat next to me. There was no in between, and it nearly paralyzed me. Somehow, I have no memory of how I managed to get her to the emergency room where they rushed her from my car. I then had to try to find the parking garage, which was around the corner and across the street and over the river and through the woods. I called my brother sobbing as I wound my way back across the street and through the hospital back to the emergency department. I was convinced, I even told him as much, that this was it, that she was leaving. When I did finally get back to the emergency room, they let me into my mother's room, and she grinned and waved at me. The regulator valve on her oxygen tank had not been working properly. But my imagination was still so triggered. The first words out of my mouth were, "No, that can't be it." There is a difference between having our imagination triggered and having it sparked. When it is triggered, the world catches on fire in our minds, and the worst just runs wild with us. And if we're not careful, there's no putting it out until it's just too late. A triggered imagination comes from a negative place in our minds and can lead us to a negative place in our lives. Triggered imaginations lead us to poor decisions, arguments, breakups, and all kinds of other messes that don't have to happen. I got lucky that my triggered imagination didn't completely paralyze me and end up with my mother dying in the car seat next to me. Some part of me continued to function even though my imagination had essentially shut off my thinking mind. God got us to that hospital because I certainly did not. The hardest thing to do when our imagination is triggered like that is to arrest the process and reroute our minds. It's getting ourselves out of panic mode and into thinking mode. So how can we do that? First, and most importantly, we have to realize what's happening. We have to realize our imagination has been triggered. And again, there's a difference between being triggered and being sparked. And we'll talk about a sparked imagination in a little bit. Often when our imagination has been triggered, it comes with a physical feeling, and it's not a good one. It's like being punched in the gut. It's a literal bad feeling in the belly. I can really recall being nauseous the entire time I was driving through Lexington rush hour traffic. It's one of the few things I do remember. If you can recognize that happening, though, it's a good time to ask, is what I'm thinking true? And that's the question. Is what I'm thinking true? If I had been armed with that question when Mom crashed out on me, I probably wouldn't still be so traumatized by the incident today. But even today, nothing upsets me faster than when some of Mom's oxygen equipment fails. And it does sometimes. They're just machines and they have to be replaced occasionally. Had I been asking myself, is what I'm thinking true? I would have been in the moment and dealing with only what was in front of me instead of dreaming up all kinds of horrible stories. Is what I'm thinking true? If we can get our thinking under control with that question, is what I'm thinking true? Then we've done that hard work. And then we can get our bodies under control. Take a deep, deep breath. Feel your feet on the ground. Roll your shoulders back. Get centered and grounded in your body. Not getting triggered by our imagination is about being completely present. It's about being in the body and about being in the present, truthful mind. It takes practice to get out of the triggered imagination, but peace is yours on the other side of that practice. Is it easy? No, obviously. If we're being honest, I don't know if I could handle a situation like the one I described to you better now than what I did then. I would like to think I could, though, because I'm armed with the question, is what I'm thinking true? It's good to practice that question in other less threatening situations. In situations where maybe we're just angry or aggravated or frustrated rather than fully spun up in our imagination. Is what I'm thinking true? Give it a try and see if it doesn't save you some heartburn. So now let's talk about the sparked imagination. The sparked imagination is divine. It's a divine idea. That's God at work in us. Ernest Holmes said, "True imagination is not fanciful dreaming. It is fire from heaven." When I was at the center in Dayton, I was tasked with relaunching our youth program. And one of the ways I did that was through a gardening initiative. I loved to garden. We had the space and my imagination was sparked. So I put together the initiative and I got in front of the congregation one Sunday and I pitched it to them. And I pitched it to them with the fire from heaven. By the next Sunday, we had the materials for 3 garden beds, more seeds and plants than I knew what to do with, the money for a large play set, and money left over. That congregation caught the spark and it fired their imaginations too. And that's the wonderful and amazing thing about sparking the imagination. It's contagious. C.S.L. Parker started as a divine idea. It was sparked in the imaginations of a few wonderful people, and it continues to grow. It's contagious too. The fire of it certainly drew me. Sparked imagination comes from a positive place, a holy place within us, and leads us to the best of places. When we follow our sparked imagination, we're led to joy and success. This is the imagination that leads us to our highest and best possibilities. So how do we recognize it? It can have a physical feeling too. I always think of sparked imagination. It's like it tingles all over. When I get a truly divine idea, it's almost as if my hair stands on end. When I say yes to it, the universe says yes to me. And not only does nothing get in the way of it, it's like everything falls in line. It seems like every person or thing you could ever think of that you might need, and a bunch of stuff that you never thought you might need, just ends up showing up as if by magic. If triggered imagination brings us tears, sparked imagination brings us laughter. If triggered imagination comes from our fears, then we can recognize that sparked imagination comes from God. And we can access that spark in the same way we access God within. Prayer. We pray for abundance, health, clarity, why not divine inspiration? When we step into prayer, we enter into the field of infinite possibility. Incredible ideas can be sparked there if we allow ourselves to enter into that space. And not just our own ideas, but God's ideas for us and as us. Visioning. The visioning process is predicated on the idea that we become conduits for not our own ideas, but God's ideas to come through. What better way to have our imagination sparked than by practicing being a conduit for divine ideas through the process of visioning? Meditation. What do you hear in the stillness of meditation? Your imagination might be sparked there. God speaks to us in that silence if we're willing to listen. In any way you access and listen to God within, you can spark your imagination. You can allow God to spark your imagination, because that's really what it's all about. Triggered imagination is about us. We trigger our imagination. We run away with our thoughts. God isn't anywhere to be found in that process. It's negative and damaging. It exhausts us and can traumatize us for years. Sparked imagination is about God. The divine sparks our imagination. It's positive and builds something beautiful. It's contagious and others can't help but join in. It lifts us up and fills our spirit. It brings us joy. It's God in action through us, as us. We can use physical cues to recognize which is happening to us, and the question, is what I'm thinking true, can move us out of triggered imagination. But ultimately, it's easiest to remember that triggered imagination is about our fear, and sparked imagination is about God. We just have to decide which we want to live from in any given moment. Recognize, decide, and embrace your decision. And so it is. Thanks for spending some time with me today. Remember that you're loved, and I'll see you next week. I invite you into a personal investment called Sacred and Faithful Giving. Knowing that there is an infinite flow of prosperity and abundance that is operating in and through us at all times, no matter our present circumstances, we open to expand our consciousness of acceptance by giving with a grateful heart. When our souls are fed by the practice of giving in this way, we can be certain that our gift blesses both the giver and the receiver many times over. We receive and appreciate your gifts and tithes. Thank you for supporting us to remain a vital and thriving center in which to find your spiritual nourishment. For your convenience, we provide you with various ways in which to make your donation. You can donate on our website, cslparker.org/donate, or you can give via Zelle, or you can mail a check to our office location. And so I invite you now to affirm your prosperity through the power of your word by saying this with me. I attract all good things into being. The power of my faith enhances my experience of health, relationship, finance, fulfillment, passion, purpose, and joy. The creative source in my life is in a constant state of perfection, freely giving itself as my bounty. And so it is. We're glad you're connecting with us today. Together we raise the vibrational energy of love and connection. And now, our offering song.
God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God is my source. God is my power. God gives me everything I need. So I give thanks for all my blessings. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I need. God gives me everything I
So thank you again for spending time with us today. Please join me in prayer. And so here and now, I just center myself in this place, knowing that God is, that Spirit is, And I know that this place and this time is blessed. Blessed by our presence together. Even though we are online and not physically together, it is a blessing. And I know that we are together by divine appointment. And I simply say thank you. Thank you to that one that we know by so many names. We come together in such joy, in such peace, in such love. It is just so good to be together in this place where God is. And so I just say thank you. Thank you for the presence of the one, and thank you for your presence here with me. And so I let this go. I let it be. And we say together, and so it is. And so it is, my friends. I'll see you next week.
There's a reason for the sunshine sky, and there's a reason why I'm feeling so high. Must be the season when that love light shines all around us. So let that feeling grab you deep inside and send you reeling where your love can't hide, and then go stealing through the moonlit nights with your lover. Just let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show, and you'll know what I mean. It's the season. Let your love fly like a bird on a wing, and let your love find you to all living things, and let your love shine, and you'll know what I mean. That's the reason. There's a reason for the warm, sweet nights, and there's a reason for the candle lights. Must be the season when those love lights shine all around us. So let that wonder take you into space and lay you under its loving embrace. Just feel the thunder as it warms your face. You can't hold back. Just let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show, and you'll know what I mean. It's the season. Let your love fly like a bird on a wing, and let your love find you to all living things, and let your love shine, and you'll know what I mean. That's the reason. Just let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams, and let your love show, and you'll know what I mean. It's the season. Let your love fly like a bird on a wing, and let your love find you to all living things, and let your love shine, and you'll know what I mean. That's the reason. Just let your love flow like a mountain stream, and let your love grow with the smallest of dreams. There's a reason for the sunshine sky, and there's a reason why I'm feeling so high. Must be the season when that love light shines all around us. So let that feeling candle lights must be the season when those love lights shine all around us. So let that wonder take you into space and lay you under its loving embrace. Just feel the thunder as it warms your face. You can't hold back.